Hello everyone, and welcome back to a Gran Turismo time trial guide here in 2025. We're at the Nürburgring. Fortunately, it's a sprint layout, and we're in that Hyundai Ioniq 5N, the Nürburgring edition. I assume that's what it stands for. This is a sprint layout of the Nürburgring. I'm not sure if I just mentioned that. We're on sports hard tyres. I put a medium difficulty on this one. I mean, personally, I found it really easy to control. It really felt natural, but others might not like it because it is a very weighty car. Gold estimate around a 138.7, but I think that might be kind of the extreme end. So if you do get below that, you should be fine. If you do enjoy this video, as always, do give it a like and do subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest time trial guides. But without further ado, we're going to jump into this one, and let me tell you how to do this then. So, as you head towards turn number 1, what you are looking for right now is on the right-hand side. We've got the white dab of the barrier. Now, I actually used a tree just after that, but the white dab is critical, in my opinion, in terms of the braking. If you brake just after that leaves the screen, you should make this corner absolutely fine. If you want to use a tree, feel free to. And I do find under braking, if you slightly overlay a little bit, which is just slightly tap the throttle, you may brake a little bit better because of the weight of the car, the weight does shift. Be careful on exits because with the weight shift, you can get some oversteer and drifty moments. And on the right-hand side there, we've got the escape road. Okay, so I want to brake before I get to that point here. And I'm going to trail brake into this corner and actually let the car roll a little bit as well. Now, you may have seen me use the overtake button. I will explain that in due course. But as we go to here, notice I'm trying to slow the car down. I roll. And then what I'm looking for is just before this gets to the center of my screen, which is the orange painted barrier or the tower on the right-hand side of that box. I'm then going to start to accelerate. Now, you may want to progressively accelerate initially because if you suddenly just full throttle, the front will lift a little bit and you'll start understeering. Likewise, if you use the overtake button, you get a bit more power, which does lift the front a bit more, which means even more understeer. Now, as we head towards this next left-hander, on the right side, we've got 2 tyre marks there that you can use. So as they hit the edge of your screen, hit the brakes. Alternatively, you can try and use the pole, which I normally use on the left-hand side. I did find those tyre marks very useful because they're at the right of your peripheral vision and very clear. So as I come into here, I'm trying to slow the car down. I'm trying to get over to the left. Don't go too far to the left. You will invalidate your lap. Over towards the right, I lift off a little bit. I'm just trying to settle the car there before I full throttle. I hit my overtake button and continue towards the hairpin. Now, on the left-hand side, you could arguably use the right, but I use the left. You've got this really open bit of tarmac, and you've got this white bit there. That white bit is a really good brake marker for the hairpin. Now, when you go into this, I actually advise going out slightly wider on this hairpin, and this is all to do with the weight of the car. So as I come into here, once again, I overlaid a little bit. I'm going to go out a little bit, and that gets the car rotated, and then I start accelerating at the start of the second curb on the right-hand side. The reason I do this is because if you're still turning with this car and you accelerate, the weight will shift and then you get all sorts of oversteer. And you don't want that. You really don't want that. So instead, if you can sort of do a V shape and then come out the corner, you'll actually settle the car better and you can sprint out of the corner. We get to the 100 board then, or the start of the light green AstroTurfy stuff right there. And that is your brake marker for this left-hander. Brake as the 100 leaves your screen on the right-hand side. When you go into this corner, you actually want the car to roll a little bit as well. So you're going to hit the brakes, you're going to slow the car down as we do right here, and then we start to lift and let the car roll. We then start to accelerate, allows the car to be stable, the weight to settle, and as we get towards this right-hander, you can use the Marshall on the left-hand side. It's a really good marker, but I don't use it myself, but I always point it out because it is a really good marker. I judge it based on the tarmac on the right-hand side of how much is left on the right-hand side of my screen. So that's your choice there in terms of the Marshall or the tarmac on the right-hand side. So as I go into here, again, I'm going to let the car roll a little bit, and when I'm happy, I'm going to then full throttle and hit my overtake button. Make sure you map that correctly because in parts of this lap, you'll see me change camera and all sorts, and I did it many times. I'm pretty sure I do it even on this lap as well, and you will see it because I'm just pressing the button on the wheel. Now, we get towards the chicane, and you're going to have to brake extremely early for this corner. And there's some Marshalls on the right side with a red painted barrier as well. And it's before the 150 board. That is your brake marker. That is the perfect brake marker. So as that hits the edge of your screen on the right-hand side, hit the brakes as I do right here. Okay, I'm looking to slow the car down. I'm then going to start to release the brakes and turn in. Be careful that bollard on the right. That will invalidate your lap. And on the exit, once I'm straight, I will then hit the overtake button. The final brake marker is on the left-hand side. The white and red barrier, literally the end of it is going to be your brake marker. We're not using our normal one, which is a red painted barrier further up because that's too late. This car does not have good brakes, or arguably it probably weighs a ton due to the batteries. But even so, we're using the end of the red and white barrier on the left-hand side. Now, in terms of accelerating markers, the start of the pit wall there, that is your accelerating marker. As far as that leaves the screen, start to hit the throttle. Even if it's 50%, it's just going to carry that bit more speed. And that's one thing that can improve your lap. If you hit these accelerating markers, even if you're not 100%, 50% will just carry that speed a bit more. But I'm here making it perfect. You see there, I accidentally changed camera down at the bottom. But we continue towards the line then, and we use our overtake button. That's a 136.497. Let's go to the paddle lap then, where I mapped this to R1, the overtake button. So on the right hand side, the white marker there, we're going to hit the brakes. Now, the pad, I'd argue, is actually better than the wheel. I mean, I found it like that anyway. I don't get quite as quick of a time, but I've only jumped on very quickly. So the escape road there, we're going to hit the brakes and turn in. We're just letting the car roll a little bit. And as the tower gets to the center of my screen, I start to accelerate, and I'm using that overtake button. We head down here. The tire marks on the right hand side is my brake marker as I look to slow the car down. Now, don't cut too much on the left hand side. We go over towards the left, then over towards the right with a slight lift as well. We clip the curb on the inside and then accelerate out. Try and get over the white line before the end of the escape road there, otherwise you'll invalidate your lap. The white marker in the middle of the tarmac area there is your brake marker. We're going to go out here. The second curb, start of it there, is our accelerating marker. Look at that. We boot it out of the corner. Absolutely not a problem. Head over towards the right side. The 100 board there is the brake marker as we turn in. Let the car roll a little bit, then start to accelerate. Over towards the left hand side where the marshal is, we're going to hit the brakes and we're going to turn in. Now, we went a bit deep there, so we do need to compromise. I accidentally looked behind me there. That's how much I'm pressing the overtake button and pressing other buttons as well. So we can breathe a little bit now as we head towards the chicane. And remember, what we're looking for is on the right hand side. You see the arm code there. The marshals at the end of that are your brake marker. We hit the brakes. We get towards the 50, and then we're going to start to look to turn in. Now, I actually nail this better on my pad than I do on my wheel lap, which I'm chasing right now. So we head out of this corner. I've gained on my wheel lap here. The end of the red and white barrier on the left-hand side is our brake mark. And as we come into here, I got so excited, I just went a tiny bit too deep there. And you can see there on the exit, I just get compromised a little bit. This would have been even faster. And you can follow this ghost as well in terms of the leaderboard. Look for that 136.938 lap. And my controller lap is there for you to chase. We go and chase cam then. So the white marker there is your brake marker on that right-hand side as we hit the brakes. And we overlay a teeny tiny bit. ABS is on weak for those interested. As I go through here, just be careful of the weight shift on exit. Just make sure the car's settled, then accelerate out. The escape road there is your marker on the right side, and we let the car roll a little bit. As the tower gets towards the center, we accelerate. We go towards the right side there. The tire marks there. Hit the brakes. Slow the car down. Try and get the car turned towards the left hand side. Don't cut it too much. Here we go. Nice line. Over towards the right. We lift off a little bit. We clip the inside curb, and we accelerate out. Get off the white line and over the white line very quickly before that tarmac ends. The white marker there on the left hand side, there it is. In the middle of that tarmac is our brake marker. We're going to go out wide a little bit. There's the first curb. There's the start of the second curb. We hit the throttle. We accelerate out of here using the overtake button once again. Over towards the right side. The 100 board is your next marker. Hit the brakes. Let the car roll a little bit. Clip the curb on the inside. Then start to accelerate over towards the left. Marshall is a brilliant marker here as we go towards the right. Roll, roll, roll. Now we make it. Now we go. Continue on out there. They see me rolling. They hating. Nah, we're going to get this gold now. Let's do it. So we're going to head up here. You see the barrier on the right-hand side, the end of that barrier where those marshals are, that is our brake marker. We hit the brake square on here, straight line braking all the way until we need to turn in. Cut a bit to the left, avoid the bollard on the right, which I do just there. Accelerate out there using the overtake button. The red and white barrier on the left-hand side, the end of that is your brake marker for this final corner. We turn in. Start the pit wall there is when we accelerate. We continue out of this corner. We head towards the line, hitting that overtake button, which does improve speed in this car. And that's a 136.497. If you want to chase that lap, just look for that time on the leaderboard and you'll see YouTube Tidgney right there. Now, if you do want to do this one and you're unsure where to go, well, we're on the home screen here. And what we're going to do is head to sport mode. We're going to press into sport mode and we come on this screen here. Online time trials right in front of you here. So we've got two at the moment. We've got the Nürburgring Sprint and Monza for the new cars that have come to the game. So pick which one you like there. We can then jump into it and then we can see what the gold time is. So you may be chasing bronze or silver. This is still the fastest way to get those credits in Gran Turismo. If you can do it in 5, 10, 15 minutes, nothing really does beat the amount of credits you can gain right here. And that's how I gain my credits in Gran Turismo 7 as I continue each and every week. Now, if you do enjoy this one, give it a like and do subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest content. Hopefully that guide is of help to you and hopefully you get the amount of credits that you are actually chasing. Do check out those partners down below, including GT Amiga, where you can use code Tidgney at checkout for a discount as well. And do check out last week's time trial or a different video on the right side. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.